Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sam Spade Tech. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hey, listen, sometimes in life we lose the plot, right? Happens to all of us, I feel like. Some more than others. Whether it be, we get distracted or we just lose focus, so to speak. Sometimes we miss the plot, but I want to maintain the focus and reiterate what this channel is all about, right? So I used to play Fortnite for a long time, still enjoy playing Fortnite. Probably won't be streaming it as much, but I'm focusing on tech going forward, right? And I know there's tons of competition out there, and that's not the focus either, right? So you don't want to lose the plot and focusing on what other people are doing. This channel is just me hanging out on my computer, talking about tech stuff, getting into it, showing off some of my stuff. And recently I had been meaning to put together a Ventoy, right? And if you guys have not heard of Ventoy, like, what have you been doing? This was all popular a couple of years ago, and that's how long it has been since I've been meaning to mess around with Ventoy. And I gotta tell you, it's a huge time saver, okay? So if you go over to Ventoy, I think it's just, ventoy.net, right? Let's see here, game on, there we go. So ventoy.net, right? This is a game changer. Now, I like to install different operating systems. I've recently got into messing around with Linux operating systems. And I mean, I don't know, if you're anything like me, you probably got like a freaking dozen of these. You know what? Hang on. Let me get my mobile camera set up. I need to put this on my other phone, but we'll do it on this one for now. Give me a second, guys. Allow. That's the one I like. Back ultra wide. There we go. So, you guys can see this. You guys probably can't see this. All right. Let me switch cams to the Ninja Cam. I love this thing. If you guys haven't used your phone as a mobile camera, what are you guys doing? What are you doing with your lives, really, honestly? So again, this is the app that I use for my phone. Excuse me, not my phone, for my stream. It is actually called Social Stream. And let me minimize this. So this is Social Stream. And I use this app to combine all the chats into one. There's multiple solutions out there. Hang on. There we go. This is the app I use. This is called Social Stream Ninja, but it also has a remote camera feed option, right? So you don't even have to have this installed for this to work, because I tested it the other day. So like it wasn't even running, but the remote feed still worked, right? So you just come over here, remote camera feed. It tells you everything. Camera link for your smartphone. Literally, it's just a link. You copy that, paste it, so then you can access the camera, you can reset it, whatever, and then link to your OBS. So you just take this, copy this, put it as a browser source into OBS, and you're good to go. And then you can have a mobile camera just like this, which is amazing. So getting back to the topic, right? And the focus of my channel. So I feel like a lot of people want to stream, right? They want to stream, or they want to put together a YouTube channel or whatever. And unfortunately, there's no like playbook on how to do that, really. So I feel like that's kind of what I want to do, you know? And by doing that, just basically show and tell, right? Like showcase my setup, showcase like, this is the app I use for this. This is the app I use for this. This is how to set up this. This is how to set up this. And the bread and butter being the YouTube videos, right? So the streams are great and streams are fun. We can have a lot of fun doing that, but that's not the primary focus, right? The streams just push people to the content, and the content being right now short form video and mobile streams, right? That's the primary focus. So focus on your vertical streaming, vertical, which I have here. So, and that seems to be where everybody is watching as well. So focusing on the vertical streams. I'm also live horizontally. So if you don't like the vertical, you can hop over and check out the horizontal feed. It's slightly different. I'm also on Kick, which I don't know if that counter's working or not, but I don't think anybody's on Kick right now. Let me see. Is that even working? Kinda. It's kind of working. Whatever. That's the social stream. So see how the chat just like pops up a little bit, shows the last comment. But again, primarily my focus is going to be doing the live streams. But while I do the live streams, I'm going to be recording and using this to download and then edit a video from this later on. So basically this is like the whole process, right? So just that's it. That's the only thing I'm going to be doing on my streams, right? Is just recording video, B-roll, what have you, for myself putting together my next video or my next short. And we'll see how that goes, you know. I don't know. And I'm not like a famous YouTuber, so I don't have like the exact playbook for this, right? And that's the problem. Nobody's out there giving out the playbook on how to do this. There's a lot of information out there that helps, but you know, and everybody's going to do it differently. So this is how I'm doing it, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. So if you're anything like me, you've probably got a million different USB drives, right? Like to install operating systems using a thumb drive. So you've probably all seen like Rufus. I don't know if you guys have heard of Rufus, but so like this is annoying, right? Because like, okay, I got Windows on this one, I got Linux on this one, I got Windows 10 on this one, I got, you know, whatever, like, and it gets confusing. I got recovery on this one, and it gets super confusing, because then you're like, wait, what the hell was on this? Crap, I don't know. So what if there was one drive, right? Get rid of these. Just one USB drive. What if there was just one USB drive that had all of your installer files on it and all of your applications that you want to install and any other files that you want to keep on here and install onto every OS right from here? And what if your computer like crashes out or gets a virus? You can use this to boot into recovery mode as well. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. This is my new 1 terabyte NVMe Ventoy drive. So this is a game changer, and it's USB 3, right? So, and it's NVMe And when I transfer files to this, like you just download your ISO, like let's say you got a new Linux distro you want to try out, right? You just download the ISO, drag it on here, and you can boot to it directly from your computer. So let's get into this, shall we? All right, so let me close this so I'm not killing my battery. I love that application. So having the mobile capability right there is a game changer. Let me, what does that say? File not found. What? What? Really? The backtrack folder? Let me just see here. Give me 1 second, guys. The setting, it says my settings are not correct. I don't know about that. Here, hold on. Cancel that. Settings. Recording. I'm gonna double check to make sure this actually saved. Yeah, it's saved. I don't know why it said backtrack. It's weird. Anyhow. Make sure my YouTube is set up. This one. Use the selected. Okay. All right, we're good to go. So let me move this out of the way. Now to test this thumb drive, it's a little difficult, obviously, because there's a few ways I could do it, right? I could use my other computer and then remote into it and show you guys what it looks like. So actually there's no good way except for using a virtual machine, because even if I plug it into a remote computer, I won't have remote viewing access of it in BIOS, right? Because sometimes you have to get into BIOS, turn secure boot off, and then change the boot order as well, right? Or just select what device you want to boot from, first and foremost. Now, Ventoy has been around for years. Go to ventoy.net. You can read all about it. We'll check out the screenshots. So this is what it looks like by default, right? And like I said, you can just drag all your ISOs in here, right? And then boot directly into them. And now he's got all Windows here, but you can literally put any kind of image you want in here. Look, you got image files, ISOs, he's got Arch Linux, FreeBSD, Ubuntu, VMware Visor, and Windows PE for recovery. So I got a bunch of recovery tools as well.
Cat eyes sharp enough to kill a man.
Cat's here.
You did some bad things, but I'm the worst of them.
Hi, honey. How's it going? Is Kick glitching? I was wondering. Again? Shoot. I'm not dropping any frames, so maybe it's your connection. I feel like Kick's servers tend to do that, and they put you on like a bad link up. But anyway, we're talking about Ventoy, right? Right here it shows you can boot into Windows directly. You can boot into Ubuntu directly. Any Linux distro. These are all the different Linux distros that you can boot into. Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything. I did run into like one distro that didn't work, but there's like safe modes and things you can do about this. See right here. It supports 1200 plus image files, tested list, and then 90 plus distros from DistroWatch are supported. It's probably north of that because this guy's doing God's work over here. all the features, like look at this, 100% open source, so it's absolutely free. And yeah, let's just get into it, shall we? So you can go here, you can download it. It's a real simple install. And maybe I'll do an install video on this as well. Hey, over here for a second. How's it going, honey? Are you at, what's her name's? Sunny's? Is it Sunny? Is that her name? Sunny's. So go ahead and download the Ventoy and test it out. I'm going to show you guys here what it's all about. So bear with me. Oops. Here is, okay, yeah, so Oracle, let's pop this open. So for this, and I was messing around with it yesterday, I did get it to function. I use Oracle's VirtualBox Manager. So this is basically like VMware or Parallels, but this is open source as well, absolutely free. A little more buggy, but oh, okay, nice. Gonna read for a little? Yeah, but Sunny's is a nice, cozier place to read. But I suppose it's only for a half hour, so. So I was messing around with it a little bit yesterday. I do have one virtual machine here, Zorin, and then I got USB boot. So this is what I was messing with yesterday. It didn't function great, so I'm gonna try adding a new one. So if you've got VirtualBox here, you can just click, add a new virtual machine, and we will just call this USB boot. It's pronounced Sunny's. Is that true? It's not Sunny? Her name's Sunny. So we'll just call it USB boot. Cancel that. What is happening here? Okay, new. That's what I wanted. USB boot. I wish it would default to my other one, but we'll just select where you want to save it. For this, so we don't have an ISO image, okay, and that's all right. So now would be the time to plug in our Ventoy to our main computer here. So I'm going to plug that in. Don't want that. So we don't want the ISO from there. Type. So I was having issues with it being under Linux. So I think if I choose other, it looks like that's saying 32-bit. So let's just go Windows for right now. We'll leave it at other Windows, 64-bit. And then we don't want unattended install, but this is the important setting. Oh, he got in the golf cart. That's really cute. Oh, Big Mad. He thought he was going for a ride. Now this is important, is setting up how much RAM to give it. And I'm just going to check my task manager right now to see what we're working with. Task manager. So it looks like we're already, it's only got 15 available. So, because I'm streaming and all that. So, and this is also bugged out. I don't know why it says 100%. It's a freaking bug of some sort, because it's clearly not at 100%. So, but I'm glad I checked that, because maybe I'll just give it like, I don't know, 12 gigs just to be safe. We'll give it about 12 gigs. So you don't want to give it more than what your machine can handle. Plus I'm streaming on 3 different devices right now, output wise. So let's just go 12. The dark cult of programming. We're not a cult. AA? Your name's AA? Are you in AA? No, this is not the dark cult of programming. We'll give it 12 CPUs, 12 gigs. I know. 12 gigs. Oh, yes, here. Enable EFI. So we definitely want that. Do you need to sacrifice? No, man, you can just join or whatever. You don't have to sacrifice your gaming machine at all. We're just messing around, man. I'm showcasing the Ventoy here. Yeah, are you a friend of Bill's, Mr. AA? So anyway, create virtual hard disk. I gave it 20 gigs. It's not going to use all 20 gigs. I think we can probably set it to like 40 gigs. It'll only use as much as you actually save to it. And since we're just kind of messing around with Ventoy, we'll give it 40 gigabytes. Save it as a VDI. You can save it as whatever you want. VHD. I've been messing with VHDX recently, but we'll just leave it at VHDI for right now. Yes, Bill and Ted, that is who we're talking about. All right, so USB boot 2 I was having issues with. Okay, so once you've got that set up, sorry, go back into settings, go to system, recording, yes, here. So remove any of this media. We don't need an optical, actually, no, I'm gonna leave that because I do need to install I may need to install the disk. But basically, we want to come in here. Is it storage? Hang on. I think it was, yeah, it's down here. Sorry. So come down to USB, your serial ports, and then add the port. Now this is confusing because it doesn't give you the name that you've addressed to it, but I know that my NVMe is the Realtek. So just try and find the technical name of your device, hit OK. It'll disconnect from Windows here, and then once I power it on, it'll disconnect from your main system and then boot into this virtual thing. So then we're all set there. Got the USB, one device active, hit start, and it should disconnect from my main drive and boot into this one. They're disconnected, and now we're booted into here. And unfortunately, I don't think I can shrink this up any more than this. Let me see if I can shrink this. So I can shrink the window, but unfortunately, I don't think I can. Scaled mode? Switch. There we go. So we are scaled. That's way too small, but we're gonna bring it back up. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I wanted. Okay. So this is my custom Ventoy build. So by default, it's going to look a little funky to you guys. And actually, I should change this. Thanks for the great walkthrough. I feel extremely invigorated for the rest of the day. We're not done yet, but thanks for being here, AA. So by default, this is not what it's going to look like, unfortunately. You guys cannot see where I'm at here. Just setting it up for the vertical people here. Let me stretch this out a little bit. I need to move my vertical scene so I can actually see what's going on here. I'll put it over here for now. Okay. Anywho. I don't know if you guys can see it on the vertical end. It's a little small, but I went ahead and set up the custom skin for this, and that's another tutorial I can put together for you guys. But this is the main menu of Ventoy. And by default, it's going to list all of your ISOs that you have on here, right? So I've got OncTech, Windows PE, which I haven't tested yet. We can test that. Antics, which is a lightweight version of Linux, which is pretty cool. BADSPADE stable. I've got the blank VHDX in here. But so if you don't like this, at the bottom, it's got some hotkeys here. Hit F2, or is it F2? No, sorry. Hit F3 for the tree view. And then it will show you the directories that you've got in here that contain any ISOs. So all the other directories, because there's other directories I have in here, aren't going to show up unless they've got either VHDX files or ISOs. So the tree view, I've separated them into Windows, Linux, Hiron's boot CDs, and then my VHDX files. So these are, and you can actually boot directly into these from the external as well. So if you've got VHDX files, which I don't suggest doing, but if you've got VHDX files, it's best to just copy them over to your hard drive and then boot them from there. But you can boot them from here. I don't suggest that. Let's see which Windows I got in here. So I've got Windows installers here. Ghost Spectre 10, 21H1, 64. I got the 32-bit version of that. And then Windows 11, 21H2. And then Windows 11 LTSC 24H2. I've got a couple of other installers, kernel ISO, kernel OS, the stock Windows LTS 10, Windows 10 LTSC ISO, and then Windows 11 25H2 Tiny version 1. I think this is actually from OncTech, which I haven't tested this one out just yet. So we could see what that one's like. But basically, yeah, you could just drag any ISO over into here. And these are all the Linux distros that I've downloaded that I have not yet tested them all out. But it's just as simple as going in here and then we'll select Cache OS. So this is a Linux distro. And yesterday it wasn't running great, so we're going to try it again and see if the boot has fixed itself. So there, it's firing off. So now I don't know if it was because it was Linux based or what the deal was, but that's why I'm doing a USB boot on as a Windows to see if that runs any better. And it does not look like it's running better. Yeah. It's not running at all. May have to close out of that. Is it because I'm in scaled mode, I wonder? Crap. How do I get out of the freaking scaled mode? Look that up. Give me a second, guys. I don't know why it's C. There we go. Host and C. It's definitely not functioning there. So we'll power it off. And then fire it back up. So can you guys see that a little bit better over on the vertical? I'm trying to focus more on the vertical side of things so that you guys can see that. Okay, so we could try the OncTech Windows PE. I think that is the difference on the VirtualBox. So if you are gonna, that's the only issue when you're running them virtually. If you're running it directly on your PC, you're not gonna have this problem. But when you're doing a virtual system, you probably need to set it up for either Linux or for Windows. But again, that's kind of a workaround. So we're really just showing off Ventoy, because if you're going to do a virtual machine, you know, you could just install it directly from the ISO. But this is to showcase Ventoy and all of the things that it can do. So let's just fire it into OncTech to see if this one even will run. So boot. Okay, so when you fire off this one, it just went directly into it. So this OncTech also has Windows 10 and Windows 11 capability. So do scaled mode again. There we go. Yeah, this does seem to be why it's doing this. All right, so this is from a guy that does his own Windows PE builds, OncTech. So we're gonna see what's on here. Again, this is booting directly from my Ventoy. So it's such a time saver because you can just download an ISO, drag it directly onto Ventoy, restart your computer, and boot into any one of these. Now these WinPEs are great for desktop recovery, password recovery. So like what I do, I just bought a bunch of like thrift store laptops, right? And some of them were like locked out with the password. So you can use WinPE to come in here and activate the administrator account and then go in there and just delete the other accounts, add a new account. It's very handy. It comes in very handy. So this is kind of nice. I don't know what this is. P-Start over here. We got something going on. Okay. Looks like, wow. Okay, so this is the Onc WPE build 15. This actually looks pretty nice. But I don't like the freaking display. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Okay. Wow, that really bumped up the resolution. Why did it bump the resolution to that, I wonder? Huh. I don't know why it bumped the resolution up so high. Let me, all right, we're gonna do host C again. Yay. Yeah, why is the resolution so high? I wonder. Oh, I think I know why. Yeah, so that's the other issue. So with the Ventoy, I think I may need to change the display because it's defaulting to whatever the Ventoy display resolution was set at, which is like 4K. Even though I set it at 2K. That's weird. But, let's see. Okay. Let me just drag this over. So basically this is your Windows PE environment, right? And it's got a bunch of pre-built or pre-installed applications that you can do all sorts of things with. If you're looking for drivers, you can install those, CPU-Z, apps to RAM, Xiaomi backup. Let's just see what CPU-Z has to say. And why is this still open? It's a little sluggish, again, because we're running off of the virtual like RAM. It's not the ideal way to do this virtually. So we'll just go ahead and close this out. Power it off. Yeah, because really we're just showcasing the USB boot. But I can go ahead and show you essentially what I have in here. So this is the NVMe. When you install Ventoy, it will give you two. It's going to give you 2 disks out of the box. So let me go to disk management. And this is my Ventoy. So it's a 1 terabyte. It has its own EFI system to boot to. And then it automatically will partition the other partition in exFAT. So you can throw whatever files you want onto it. And then Ventoy will boot up and just, it's basically like a tiny little operating system. That's what you guys were just seeing. It will show you all of the files that you have on the other partition. Let's see. So by default, this is the only thing it'll have in here. It'll just be a blank drive. This is my theme that I installed right into the Ventoy folder. And then I've also got a plugin here for image booting. Let's see. Windows. So these are all my Windows ISOs. And if we want to explore that OncTech, we can do that. But honestly, I kind of just want to mess around with Cache OS because I've been meaning to try that out. So I'm just going to copy this to the desktop and watch how fast this is. Yeah, damn, it's already done. Like, so that's why I turned the 1 terabyte into NVMe into a Ventoy, because I mean, look at how fast that was. And so when you boot directly into these, it's going to be super fast. You're not even going to notice hardly any latency. It's absolutely amazing. Let's see here. So we'll just go ahead and we're going to make another one, right? So we're going to add a new one. Wait, cancel that. new, not add. And we're going to call this Cache. Spelled that wrong. Cache OS. And again, I want to save these in my VMs folder. Select that folder. ISO is on my desktop. Cache OS. Open it. This is actually Linux. It is it Arch? What is Cache? Yeah, Cache is Arch. Cache is Arch Linux. Hardware, again, I like to do, we're going to do 12 because that's really all I got. And then 12. Yep, create virtual hard disk. We'll give this 40 gigs. VDI and finish up. And that should be it. So we got Cache running from the desktop and we'll hit start. There we go. So now we got Cache. There we go. And you'll see the difference here because like Cache wasn't even booting directly from the Ventoy. UDD off. Don't know what that means. Yeah, now don't worry about any of these errors with this. There we go. So just let it do its thing for a little bit. We're going to be fine. So again, the virtual machine for USB boot is really just to showcase the actual USB, right? And I can go ahead and download the latest version of Ventoy and show you guys how to install that. But yeah, don't worry about any of these like failed or things because it's really probing your system to see like what it can run and what it cannot run. And if there's any errors, like you should be fine. It's going to boot into the Linux environment here in a second. All right. Yay. Yikes. Okay, yeah, this is what it was doing yesterday too on a virtual machine. Just running off of Ventoy. So I'm guessing Cache OS does not like doesn't like this, what do you call it? Huh. Doesn't like VirtualBox, that's for sure. That's weird. I wonder what I need to do to get Cache to run properly. Yeah, that's what it was doing yesterday from Ventoy. Huh. Interesting. All right. So is there something? It's Linux. Let's just change it to other Linux. I mean, is it because it's got 12 processors? Hmm. Now I can uncheck these. That's weird. Because before I couldn't uncheck them. It doesn't need EFI right now. Is it because it's an IDE? Hmm. Cancel that. It's strange. I don't know why it's doing that. Try firing it off one more time. So Cache seems to be having issues with running in a virtual machine. Let's see here. So this is the 64. And we got this. No modus. We could try it in that one. I'm gonna just try it here one more time. This definitely looks different. I think it's installing it again. Or not installing, but it's running off the ISO. Yeah, because I installed Zorin a couple weeks ago virtually. And I didn't have any issue, without any issue. Yeah, it can, and this is definitely not normal, because normally it just goes to the desktop. It does not seem to be working. You click enter, and then it's just like, nope, Powered off. Is it because I only have 20 megs of video memory? I don't know, but we'll go ahead and delete this. Yeah, I want to delete all of those. So again, the USB boot, like it seems like you have to have two different ones set up, but maybe I should try running like Antics or something off of it to see if that one would work, because I've only been trying Cache and that seems to be there's something not working with the virtual machine with it. But this video is supposed to be about the Ventoy, so let's just go ahead and do that. So I've got another USB that I'm going to use because this one, my main Ventoy is already set up, so I don't want to mess that one up. So I'm going to show you guys on this USB. Hopefully there's nothing important on here. Looks like another Windows 11. I don't even know what this is. Ghosts. Looks like Ghost. Yeah. This is a version of Ghost that is on here. So we'll go ahead and delete this because I don't need it. So disk management. What's on here? Yeah, so this is just a 32 gig Windows 11 Pro. But I could just leave it for now. I'm going to close out of VirtualBox. Hopefully that frees up some RAM. No, that didn't free up anything. So not too bad. I'm only using 16 gigs out of my total RAM. Anywho, let me download the newest version of Ventoy. All right, guys. So if you come over here, Ventoy, it's probably going to look like this when you come in here. I just turn it off because I don't like the light mode. So main page, when you come in Ventoy, you can read all about it. Come over to downloads and let's just download the latest zip file from here. Takes you to SourceForge and just click download. And there it goes. Should start downloading after this timer reaches 0. There it is. It's a very small file, right? So then you're going to need a zip extraction. I like 7-zip. That's kind of the main staple. Everybody uses 7-zip. But I like to come over here, right click the file, 7-zip, and then extract it to, and it'll create a folder named after the zip file, because sometimes the zip files don't have a folder inside them and it's all loose. So just go ahead and click into that. And you want this one, Ventoy to disk. When you double click it, let me minimize my windows here. There we go. Okay, so when you double click it, you get this little deal that pops up, and it should automatically find the device that you're targeting, which is my Lexar USB flash drive. Let's see here. I like to change the partition style to GPT instead of MBR, but it all depends on what you want. You can leave secure boot support. Partition configuration. So you can change the file system. I like to by default, it's on exFAT. You can change it to NTFS if you want, FAT32. This is what I haven't tried just yet, but you can preserve some gigabytes after the secondary Ventoy partition. So basically give you another partition. Essentially, it's going to give you another partition after, and I can show you that after this. But so just select your thumb drive. It's going to install the latest, and just click install. It's going to say the device is going to be formatted. All your data is lost. Yes. It's going to say it again. Like, hey, bro, are you sure? Yes, we're sure. And it's going to delete everything on that drive. And by default, it only selects the thumb drive. So there's not a lot of risk that you're going to overwrite your main drive. It looks primarily for external drives. And when you're done, it's going to pop up with two windows, but it looks like it closed the one. But it's going to show you your Ventoy drives right here. Ventoy has been successfully installed. Click OK. And the nice thing about this is once you have Ventoy, and let's say a new version comes out, you just plug in your drive here and you can click update. And it shows you the format, right? exFAT, it's GPT. And you can click update, or you can install it again. And then click, you can exit out of that. And then we will open up, hang on a second. We're gonna open up my PC. And so yours, and I haven't figured out why my OS is doing this, but normally it'll show Ventoy and then it'll show the EFI Ventoy, which you don't need to mess around with. I probably have it turned off. There's a setting or something. So this is the other partition, the Ventoy partition. You can click on that and then let's open up a new window. And it literally is just as simple as grabbing whatever ISO you want and dragging it in here. And now this is going to be super slow. So you saw how fast the NVMe transferred. This is an old drive. I think this is USB 2.0. It has to be, because look at how slow this is going. But that's why the Ventoy on an NVMe is a game changer. Like the transfer speed, you can run the OSs off this, everything. It is so sweet. I definitely recommend this to be the way you do it. Because yeah, all these old thumb drives, like, forget it. You know, like I'm just gonna probably get rid of all these because they're kind of useless this day and age. But you know, in that instance that you run into one of those distros like Cache seems to be running weird on the virtual machine. However, there are some other ones that are super lightweight, which should run fine. And I might showcase those because something is up with Cache. I'm not sure what Cache is doing, but it ain't running the way it's supposed to. This one in. Moment. So I got another Ventoy. I'm gonna transfer over. How big is this one? It's 3 gigs. We don't want that. But what I do want, and I will show you this one. Oh, hey, forgive and thankful. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for the subscription. I will transfer this one over, and we can check this one out. Old XP. You guys want to see some XP? Remember Windows XP? And then Linux Antics, which is 2 gigs. I'm going to go with the smallest one. Porteous is only 500, which is wild. So I got 3 of them transferring. I'm going to pause them and do one at a time because this is ridiculous that this is taking so long. And actually, Cache wasn't working, so we're going to get rid of Cache. We don't need it. Because I want to test that virtual machine again. We'll test that one. We've got Porteous. We've got Hiron's XP, which is amazing. Like Bodhi Linux. We've got Bookworm. I want to transfer Bookworm over. I'll transfer Bodhi as well, because that's one of the smaller ones. But we're going to pause and just do one at a time here. Pause all these. Because, yeah, it tries to transfer. I don't know why it does this. It tries to transfer everything all at once. It makes no sense. Windows, get your act together, like, for real. Like, why is it going to try and copy all the files all at once when I just wanted to transfer one at a time? Because, like, look at how fast that went. Porteous and... Come on, Porteous. You can do it. You can fucking do it. It's like watching paint dry. How's everybody doing out there in internet land? What the is this thing doing? Thank you. Like, look at how fast it goes, and then it gets to the end, and it's just like, huh? Mm. I need to find myself like a nice lightweight game that I can just play while we're waiting for this shit to transfer and do all this other rigmarole. Because seriously, this is like that. All right. And then this one I think is what, Bodhi Linux? Yeah, this is Bodhi. So I'm just throwing some small lightweight ones on here to test out the VirtualBox, because I don't know what is going on, but this showcases how Ventoy runs, and this will be the default like look, and it'll also tell me what is going on with my my Ventoy, which I did put a theme on it, and I think I might just switch it to the 1920 by 1080. I don't know. I like it on my machine, so it's all personal preference, right? But the thumb drives are not the best as far as like speed is concerned as well. So the NVMe is just a freaking game changer. It really is. Love the NVMe drive. Love it, love it, love it. And it was basically free because I bought 3 Windows laptops on a thrift store or a website, thriftstoreauction.com, whatever. Bought those, and then, excuse me, one of them the screen was completely smashed. So, but it had a 1 terabyte NVMe inside of it. Win-win. So that was a win right there. I paid $50 for 3 laptops. That was a win, but I needed a external enclosure, bought one, took like forever and a day to get here. Even though it was stateside, claimed to be stateside. But I ended up dismantling that laptop, took the hard drive out of it, kept it, and then sold that other laptops and all the other stuff for parts, and ended up making, like, with the stuff I bought, like made like $200 off of it. So not a bad day's work. All right, so we got Hirons, XP, we got Porteous, Bookworm, and Bodhi on here. These are all lightweight. We're gonna unplug that, unplug my other drive, eject, Realtek. Okay, so we got that one. Now we're gonna check our USB drives. VirtualBox. Fire up VirtualBox again. Here we go. So this is the Windows version, and then this is the other version. We're gonna see if it even makes a difference, but we're gonna fire this up. Oh, and cancel. Hang on, cancel. Power it off. Forgot to change the settings. So in here, we're going to right here. So this is kind of nice because I can uncheck this. I'm going to add, it should be Lexar. We're going to add Lexar, change it to that because it's a USB 2, I believe. Hit OK. And now hit start. So we can switch it up a little bit. Switch the, there it goes. What? There's no, what? There's no ISO. I have to make another USB boot file. Power that off. All right, what is this? What's the problem with the settings here? Is it USB 3? Maybe? Let's move this down. Do I have EFI boot enabled? Let's try it. I may have to. There we go. When in doubt, try it again. Like, okay, I didn't really change anything and it worked that time. So cool. Anyway, here is the Ventoy. Yeah, see, my Ventoy was like way too big, so I'm gonna have to change the theme on that, I think. Or just switch it back to the default, because the default works just fine. But this is the default look of Ventoy, and as you can see here, we've got the Bodhi, we've got Bookworm, we've got Hirons and Porteous. So you can just click this one and we'll go normal mode. Yeah, I think that is what screwed it up. Yeah, the image doesn't support UEFI. That's true, because it is x64. It's probably because it's the Ventoy is. All right, cancel. Start it again. Start it over. All right. So normal mode or grub 2, no. I think this one won't boot because I'm on GPT and not MBR, and this is a Windows XP. Can I try booting? Yeah, no. Okay, that didn't work either. Let's try it again. All right. Let's try Bodhi. Try Bodhi. Man. We're not having any luck today. Damn, man. What the hell? We're literally not having any luck today. Brika 91. Are you here, buddy? Give me a I'm here, I support you, or I'm gonna have to time you out. Sorry, it's just the way it is. Brika. Let's see, your previous stuff was nonsense. All right, Brika, 3, 2, 1. You're timed out for a week. Bye-bye. Yeah, that shit really doesn't help, by the way. So if you're on Kick, like, get your shit together, okay? Okay? Yeah, you've got a check mark, but don't fucking care. Because your shit is tiring. Your shit is tired, pal. You just come in and fucking throw emotes at me. Don't care. Don't really care. All right, we're gonna try this. Try this. Try this. Try this. Your sheet is tired. Try it again. I think there is a difference when running Linux versus this again? Dude, like what? Fuck, dude. So literally, I didn't do anything last time. Just check this, and then it went and fired up. What the fuck? Dude, I didn't change anything last time. I came in here, I literally, that was the only thing I checked. I hit okay, and then I did it again, and it worked. Dude, I don't get this shit. What do you mean no bootable device was found? I did hit reset. Dude, what the fuck? What is the difference here? This one's got 16 gigs. This one's got 12, 40. It's literally the same fucking thing. All right. That's the only difference I can see. Cancel, cancel. That's the only difference I can see here is that this one, I switched it back to 3, it looks like. And then hit start. That's literally it. Whatever. We'll try it. We'll try it with this one. We'll go bookworm, I guess. I don't know why this is not working. But hey, look at that. We're already off to a better start. Yeah, so it does make a difference booting into either Windows versus Linux. So you have to have the virtual machine set up specifically for it to work. Now, this is a version of Linux, like Puppy Linux, that runs in RAM. So it'll be fast, but it's going to be running virtually in the virtual RAM. So it might be a little slow. Hey, you still with me? Because I may have to time you out as well. All right, we're finally up into something. So sorry about the errors, guys. I'm not an expert by any means, right? I'm just trying to figure this shit out as I go. And y'all are along for the ride. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but and we got the vertical setup going, no problems. All right, quick setup. All these settings and more are available from Setup Desktop menu. Set these to suit yourself. Okay. London. No, we're not in London. Oh my God. America. Detroit. Costa Rica. Sure. America, New York. That's fine. Unlock. Okay. Oops. What the f is that? All right. So that's the welcome screen. Whatever. Nice. I wonder if I can. Whoa. Wow, it's freaking snappy for a little virtual machine. Snap. So basic desktop, very cool. This is Puppy Linux. This runs in RAM, right? So if your machine does not have a lot of RAM, probably not the distro you want to be running, but it's super lightweight. I think the file itself was only like 800 megs, something like that. So if you've got an older machine, this is great to run on it. But again, this is running off of Ventoy. So we booted into Ventoy. You can load your ISO up directly and run it. If it's Linux, it's going to run, a lot of them have the preview version of Linux that you can preview and then go ahead and install if you like the distro. Looks like it's got a couple start menus. So it's got kind of like a start. This reminds me of Windows XP. It's very basic, very lightweight. Look, we even got solitary. So you got fun, whatever this is. G Planarity. It's a puzzle game. Okay. Solitaire, Simsu, and Hexalate. Multimedia. It's got a bunch of stuff built right in here. So we got multimedia tools, GU viewer, ISO burning, internet stuff. Got Firefox built right in. Got network stuff, firewalls, passwords, password manager. It's even got virtual keyboard. Look at this, expense tracker. Oh wow, it's got GD map built right in. Wow, this is great. I used to have this application on Windows, and it's very nice because it gives you a visual representation of your hard drive. So you can go, well, what the hell is this? And you click on it, and it says right here, 200 megs down at the bottom. You can see it. It's It's got 200 megs opt, Firefox ESR portable. So this whole thing here that's highlighted is Firefox. And then you click the next one. I guess not. So the whole big square is Firefox, but it's not drilling down. Oh, there we go. So it kind of drilled down, double click it, it drills down into it so you can see what's inside of that. You can go back up, double click. Okay, so now we're inside Firefox or opt, whatever, wherever the hell we are. And you can see what all's in here. So if you've got like a hard drive that's filling up and you're like, where is all my space being used? This is a great way to find like where everything is. It's crazy when you virtualize your files like this, or when you visualize your files like this. But pretty cool. And again, if you've got an older system that you want to install this OS to, I think this is a great way to do it. Ventoy is the end all be all. So I don't have to continually jump back and forth from Rufus. Like if I've got multiple Linux ISOs that I want to try out, it's amazing because you can just reboot, go into the next one, reboot, go into the next one, reboot, go into the next one. Oh, okay, so I got the Debian ones. These just overlay FS. So we're running the Bookworm Pup Debian. There is a Ubuntu one as well. I wish it had the file size on here so I could see which file size, like what the file size difference is. But this is kind of nice too. So right on the desktop of some of these lighter weight distros, you'll get a like file taskbar kind of performance graph, if you will. So it shows you how much CPU you're using, how much of the RAM, right? So it's nice because the entire file system, 1.63 gigabytes, is loaded directly into RAM. So the OS, this Puppy Linux, is actually running off of the system RAM, which makes it very fast, very snappy. It shows you your internet download, uploads. Looks like it had another start menu over here. So you got calendar, organizer, scheduler. Oh, that's nice. Look at this. Close all apps. And then display control. Huh. No way. So this would be ideal for a laptop because you can change the brightness, the tint right here. Virtual one. Okay. This does remind me of Windows XP, which I wish I could have shown you guys the Windows XP booter, but unfortunately it looks like I'm pretty sure that's master boot record, so I can't show you guys that. Oh, cancel. Um, so you got your Lexar flash drive. There's the EFI stuff, Ventoy tool, EFI bootage. All right. Ah. Oh, that's hidden files, I think. Yep. Left, show hidden files. Center resets defaults. Right, show hide thumbnails. It's pretty interesting. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Anywho, probing drives. Anywho, that is Puppy Linux, and this is running on a virtual machine that is running Ventoy. So we booted to Ventoy on the virtual machine, and then we booted into Puppy Linux. So now if I go ahead and shut this down, so yeah, let's just try rebooting. So it's going to reboot, but it should not. Ah, that's nice. So you can save your session. That's nice. So this should restart the virtual machine, which should put us back into Ventoy. It should. Let's find out if it does that. Yes, it did. Okay, so that was Bookworm. Let's try Proteus, because that was another one. This one's going to be a little bit bigger, but we're going to try it. And again, I was trying the other one on the Windows USB boot, so I think that's why that one didn't work. Or it could be the speed too. Nope. So yeah, these virtual machines doesn't seem like it plays nice with Ventoy, but Ventoy will work great if you're installing on bare metal. So unfortunately, installing to a virtual machine, it's still got some bugs to work out, because I don't know what the hell is going on here with these. We're going to power it off. So unfortunately, I can show you Ventoy, but I can't show you anything else. Now again, this is the stock Ventoy, but if you want, you can just create, you know, new folders in here. There it goes. And then like I do, I just put Linux, and then I grab all my Linux ISOs and throw them in the Linux folder. So then that way, when you fire it up, so we'll fire this back up real quick. So it looks exactly the same until you hit F3, and then it shows you the folders. So had we made a Windows folder, you know, we could put that one in Windows, and then that gives you a nice tree view, so you can kind of differentiate between the files. But most of these, like, you know exactly what it is. So, but that is Ventoy in a nutshell, and it makes Rufus and Etcher and any other of these ISO programs completely obsolete, because you can just drag them all to your Ventoy and install them to bare metal immediately. So it's a handy tool, definitely one you guys want in your toolbox. I highly recommend the Ventoy. And also, there's a third-party tool that you can use to install themes onto your Ventoy. I may end up just turning it off though, because I kind of just like the stock Ventoy look. It seems cleaner, it seems easier, and it's just right there in your face, nice and small. Don't need to worry about it. So anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. AA, thank you for being here. Cat Spade, love you, honey. I'll see you guys soon. And yeah, thanks for being here, and we will see you in the next one.